Hi guys, I'm so excited to be back with another top 5 of the year video. So today I'm going to be showing you what my third best palette of 2025 has been 2024. Well, I'm off to a great start today. Anyway, today I'm going to be showing you the third best palette of the year, and some of you have already guessed this, and this was a palette that when I tried and reviewed this, I was so in love with this color story. The formulas are great, and this is going to go to the Secret Garden palette by Bella Beauté Bar. Now, I just noticed that when I was looking at it, just how subtle the font on this is. It's almost like it's a secret garden within the garden because you can barely even see the font. Does that make sense? Maybe it's just in my head. It's like a secret palette because you can barely see what it says on the outside. Anyway, if you haven't seen this palette already, it is a very large palette, but this color story is so beautiful. There's so many things you can do with this, and I'm honestly probably going to be kind of boring today because I have a look in mind that I want to do, and I just think it's going to be really pretty. So what I want to do is I want to use probably this one as a transition shade, maybe pop a little bit of this in the inner corner, work with some of these greens, and then do this shade. Maybe the shade on the lid could be fun. Again, there's so many things you can do with this palette. I could even go with like the teal color scheme. That can be kind of fun too. It's just that I'm wearing a blue sweater and I have red socks on, so I just don't know how well a lot of these other colors are going to go with my outfit. So that's sort of where I'm like, what options do I have to go with what I'm already wearing? Of course, I could take my socks off, but like I really want to wear my red socks today, you know, because it's like almost Christmas. So I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I'm just gonna start by priming my eyes. My eyes have been watering so much lately, and I don't know why. It's super annoying. It's usually just my left eye that's doing it, but it's like, it makes me not want to put on too much eyeshadow because I'm just gonna like cry it off, you know? So I'm probably not gonna go too heavy on my lower lash line today just to make sure that it still wears okay. At least it's on the outer corner and not like on the inner, because that gets really annoying. For me, I feel like AC will do that a lot of the time. Like if the AC is on too much, if there's like cold wind at all in the room, it can tend to make my eyes water. I don't know if I'm the only one who can't sleep with a fan on because it literally makes my eyes water. Let me know if I'm the only one, because I know some people love sleeping with a fan. I also can't sleep with like white noise. Like I usually sleep with earplugs because I need it to be quiet. Otherwise I just can't sleep. So that's where I'm at. I'm just gonna tap this out a little bit. I don't like having too much of this primer on, and sometimes I do end up putting on a little bit too much, so just tapping over it helps get off the excess and just smooth it out. Still my eye is watering, that's great. Just one of those days. Okay, let's go ahead and do, actually let me check if this palette is available still. Okay, great, it is available. So if you are interested in this palette, this is actually one of the few in the top 5 that you can still get. It is quite expensive. I think it's $78, but I do have an affiliated code, which is just Annette, if you want to save some money. This would be a nice like Christmas present to yourself because it's a beautiful palette. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one, and then I'll see after if I want to do the teal or the green. I could honestly go in either direction. I think they would both work really well. I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly do a little bit of this in my crease just as a bit of a transition shade, because I don't want this to be like a super, well, I'm lying. It's gonna end up being a very colorful look anyway, but this is just going to help blend the blue or green in a little bit better and just soften it a bit, because there aren't that many transition shades when it comes to the colorful shades in this. So I don't know, I feel like people were way in front of me when it came to using transition shades. I would never use a nude color transition shade back in the day. I really just did not see the point, but I get it now. It only took me like, what, 5 years to get on board with this? But here we are, and I'm all about it. This is actually a really, really, really nice shade for me to use as a transition shade as well. It's on the warmer side, which I prefer, and I also just think that all of these colorful mattes are, not all of them, but most of them are leaning very warm, so it makes sense to have a warm tone transition shade to go with this. I actually think I want to do the teal. I think that could be fun. And then we'll do some of the greens on the lid, most likely. So I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. I'm going to use this one. This is one of my absolute favorite brushes. It's the A504 from BK Beauty. So I'm just going to use that to deepen this up with. Mostly just putting it in the outer corner of my eye and then blending it in a little bit to the transition shade. I mostly just want to focus this on the outer corner. And I'm probably just gonna keep my lower lash line bare today just because, like I was saying before, my eye is watering a little bit, so I just don't want to mess with that too much. Just have to hope that my lash glue actually sticks, because there's nothing that makes lash glue lift more than crying. And if you know, you know. Just keeping it very simple and kind of subtle today, but we'll see how it ends up looking when these shimmers are on the lid. That will definitely help brighten this up a little bit, but I think I'm okay with this. So I'm gonna pop on some glitter primer again. This is gonna be a pretty simple look, but I feel like with these top, 5 of the year looks that I'm doing, I just want to do looks that I would do on a daily basis, and this is very much a daily basis look for me, and I don't want to overcomplicate things, and I feel like it's just better for you guys as well if I can give you inspiration on easy looks to do that don't take forever. Because it's one thing to watch YouTube to get inspired and like see people do art, but let's be real, like that's not what most of us do, and we just don't want to spend the time on that, but we still want to have pretty makeup on. I'm gonna use this shade, which is a shade called Butterfly, and I'm just taking that on the sticky side of my brush here, and I think I'm just gonna use this on my lid. I just want to see first if I want to use anything else, but I remember having used this shade and it's so pretty, so I just don't know if I want to fuss with this too much. Honestly, I may have done this exact look in my review, I don't remember, but I just know that when I sat down to film this was one of the colors that was just screaming to me, and I would imagine that it probably screamed to me back then too, so if I already did this look, I'm sorry. But you guys probably don't remember either, because if I don't remember, why would you remember, right? But who knows, maybe some of you just have like a really good memory. But I don't think I did a look that was exactly like this. That is so pretty though, like this was so easy. And just look how beautiful this shade goes on the eyes. It's very nice and smooth. Now there are shades in this palette that are on the chunkier side that definitely works a little bit better if you use a finger with them, but I had such a good experience with this palette every time I used it. It's wore really well on me. Even the chunkier shades don't crease too badly. Of course, a little bit of creasing is normal, but they don't wear off my eyes or anything like that, and they just look so nice. Like, see how easy that was? This look has literally taken me like 5 minutes. Maybe I'll do the tiniest bit of this shade as well. No, it's so funny because it's a multi-chrome, so when I look at it from this angle, it's a lot darker of a green, but when I look straight ahead, it's almost like a gold. So I think I'm gonna use this one. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a little bit darker. I like using black-based multi-chromes in the outer portion of my eye because they just tend to wear poorly on me. It's the only kind of shades that just across every single brand, if I use a black-based multi-chrome, they just crease like crazy and just don't wear on my eyes. But if I use it on the outer corner like this, as more of not a deepening shade, but just layered over the top of the deepening shade that I already have on, it tends to wear a lot better on me because it's not right where my eye creases the most. So it just adds a little bit of shine and extra color to the outer portion of my eye. And I think that's pretty much going to be it now. Again, super simple, but just so pretty. Like, I love how this is looking already, and I think with just a pair of like maybe small lashes, this is gonna look great. So this is the final look, and like I said, I think it turned out so good because it's so simple, but it's so impactful. And I think with just a pair of little small lashes, this came together so nicely. And I really don't think you need shadow underneath your eye. Like, if you're someone who don't like shadow under your eye, that is totally fine. I am gonna put in a bit of eyeliner though, which I forgot. I'm gonna use this one from ColourPop. It's gonna look almost white. It's the shade called Extra Frosting. It's a pastel yellow, and I just think that's gonna look quite nice. And then I don't know if I'm gonna put mascara on my lower lashes or not. Sometimes I like not to, honestly, because I feel like it keeps my eye a lot more open. And I also don't have to worry about my mascara smudging on my lower lash line. So I think this is all I'm going to do with this look. And I really like this look. I like this palette so much, and I'm excited to just have this in my collection and be able to play more with this. If you're someone who likes magnetic palettes, all of these shades are magnetic. I don't know if I said that in the beginning of the video, but if you're someone who makes your own palettes out of you know, single shadows, then having a palette like this where you can take them out and do whatever you want with them. Maybe you can make your own palette within this palette with other shades that you own. That would be a great idea to use this as well. I mean, I think there are just so many beautiful shades in here that I'm gonna use so much, and I love this palette. So let me know if you have this. Let me know what your favorite Bella Beauté bar palette is, if you've tried the brand. If you haven't tried the brand, which ones have you been eyeing? Also, let me know, if you haven't already, what has been your favorite palette this year. Some of you have told me already, and there are so many good palettes that have launched this year that I don't know if anybody has had the same favorite palette, which I think is awesome. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some other ranking videos, I will put my playlist up on the screen, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.